Welcome. We bid you welcome to Monday Night Metal. John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you live from my music corner of the world. And look who I got with me today. We got the Professor Peter Jones. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, John. It's
Good.
a pleasure to be here. Nice to see you. Happy holidays to everybody.
Absolutely. Yes. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah. So I thought, here it is, December 22nd. We got a couple of days before Christmas. And I thought, you know what? I got to get the professor on because, we didn't get to do the birthday show together, but I thought, I gotta get one more live stream and I got to get the professor on. So I thought, we're just going to keep it really easy today. And we're just going to talk a little bit about Christmas. For those of you who caught the little thumbnail I had here, what is Christmas to you? So that can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. What does the holiday itself mean to you? What is it that makes it Christmas to you? Or what are the different things? So I thought, you know what? Let's just throw it over to I'm going to throw it to Peter, and I'm just going to let him free form about what Christmas is to him.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah,
again, pleasure to be here. Thank you for asking me.
You got it.
I think with most people, Christmas and all the holidays is a moving target.
Mm-hmm.
Every year is different. Circumstances are different. And especially as you get older, it can mean different things and where your families are and everything. I think the word, John, that I would use first is that when I get to this time of the year, I really think of it more as a time to take inventory. Emotional inventory, personal inventory, family inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Even down financial, social, all those kinds of things. Obviously, because it's at the end of the year, that kind of lends itself to that kind of thing, the pre-New Year resolution thing of which I'm not a big fan of. I'm not a fan of resolutions and that kind of stuff. So what I find myself doing is having a series of kind of subtopics that I think about. One, I think back and first and foremost to all the family members and friends who are no longer with me. That will always be the first and strongest feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And tied in to a lot of holiday memories, because as we grow and move in our separate ways, it's usually the holidays that are the reunion points on the calendar where we get to go back and visit with parents or siblings that we may not see on even a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always the first thing. Remembering, say, oh, this is my last Christmas with my mom. I remember the last Christmas with insert, so that's kind of the first thing. And especially as I've gotten older, that's the one that really rises to the top first.
Right.
I think then second, I think about my immediate family. I think about my 4 kids and their partners and my son's wife and what they're dealing with and what they're doing with the military and everything. And my heart always goes to them and the people that they work and serve with.
And thank you for their service. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
You're very kind. Thank you. We're very, very proud of both of them. And it's, are they healthy? Are they safe? And as it's cliche. And again, we'll probably jump around here a bit. It's the Grinch. He's like, wait a second. It came without packages and boxes or, well, duh. Because as you mature and get older, very sorry to hear that, Kyle.
Yeah.
It's always hard. and it'll be a permanent memory, but it can also be one that you remember and celebrate the ones that you did have. So hopefully it will get to that point where the grace comes in and the memories start to take over from the pain. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's so little to do with gifts at this stage. It's really kind of so far down my list. Because part of this taking inventory is something that's really, really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the assessing of what have I done and what actions have I taken or not taken with family, friends, work partners, relationships, and in turn, what was done to myself? How did those transactions, relationship-wise, reciprocate themselves?
Mm-hmm.
That's a real big thing for me. And I go back, and it's not uncommon for me to get to the end of the year and start going, okay, wait a second. I value this, but you know what? It's not equitable. It's one-sided. And if you try to be a people pleaser or a giver or that kind of thing, which is part of my natural personality, you tend to give beyond the point where you kind of really should have because you're just not getting the same thing back. Now, having said that, we don't give in the larger context for the repercussive reciprocation. That's not what I'm saying. These are long-term relationships where you have ongoing interactions, versus a random act of kindness and those kinds of things, or reaching out through charities, those kinds of things where you want to help somebody. Those are distance-wise. I don't want to say they're impersonal because they mean something personally, but you're not dealing with those people one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have to say that this year has probably been the most disappointing and frustrating for me. And a lot of it is relationships, more so on a quasi-business, and I consider kind of what you and I are doing right now. There's a kind of a business relationship to it. There's a personal one outside of it that brings it together. Mm-hmm. But, most people who had watched me for the last several years have noticed I'm not on a lot of channels I used to be on. And there's reasons for that, which we will not get into. Some of their doing, some of my doing. And I go back through those and I say, what did I do? What didn't I do? And I use that. And you say, well, what's that really got to do with Christmas? Well, it's what prompts it, because it's the introspectiveness of ourselves, the assessment of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Christmas, more than all of the other holidays, is the one that kind of puts that spotlight on us. And if we take it seriously and use it as a time to grow and learn and try to do differently, I think that is an element of what the Christmas spirit and mentality is kind of all about. So, that's probably the two areas I focus on the most.
Okay. That's good stuff. That's very strong. Very, very strong. I mean, if you were to ask me that question, my answer would probably be a lot shorter.
Oh, well, I mean, me, shortness of answers is sometimes not my strength.
Well, I think I mentioned this off air. I've always called myself a mix between Charlie Brown, the Grinch, and Scrooge. Right. And now maybe add a little bit of George Bailey into that.
Right. But which I responded, that's kind of normal.
We all.
That's who isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I think for me, I mean, before I started working at what I was doing for the last 20 something years, which was a small business, franchise retail business, shipping business.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, I worked in a wholesale business, and we were having to look at Christmas stuff already in like August,
Right.
and that just kills your any kind of Christmas spirit because you're looking at it so quickly.
Right.
You can't enjoy the holidays because you're having you got to talk about Halloween already after Valentine's Day, for crying out loud.
We have a rule in our house, even when the kids come over, that there will be no Christmas music until the day after Thanksgiving. Sorry, you can't. It just will not happen in my presence because you're
Right.
like, I got to finish one before I go to the next one.
Right. So when you had for me, I mean, for the most part, Christmas Day was kind of just looked at as a day off from work. That's pretty much all it kind of got to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I wasn't working, well, what I'll say here, Helgard, is typically I wouldn't get into the Christmas spirit until December 26th. By then it was too late, so I could get out of it very quickly.
Right.
So, when I was working in the wholesale business, well, for those first few years, well, I would go back and forth with families. My in-laws at the time lived down, about 30 miles away. And then my parents, of course, I worked with my parents, but we were all together. We were pretty, so we would go to one in the one part of the day, then we'd go to the other at the end of the later part of the day. Well,
right.
But then 1997 hits. Well, by that point, my first marriage was crumbling, and there was mental health things that were happening with that probably were a little bit worrisome to me because I didn't know if I was going to get into, if I was going to make it to 1998 at that point.
Right.
But I went to a Christmas Eve service that night on December 24th and 1997. And, first time I probably stepped back in a church in quite a while. And I was enjoying a nice service. It was nice to be a part of that and not hear jingle bells and not hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all the other nonsense, garbage songs. But then I went home and I was going to do my Christmas Eve tradition, which obviously is not this version. It was a videotape, but I would put this on.
Okay.
Well, this was probably one of the first versions of the Christmas Carol I ever heard. And it's probably still, even though I wouldn't say it's the most faithful, it's probably my favorite, but because I love the music. I mean, for God's sakes, I even went and found a digital copy or a vinyl copy of the soundtrack because I love the album so much. Can't find it digitally. But anyway, well, I was going to put this on to watch that night. Yeah, the ex took it, so I couldn't watch it.
Right, sure.
Whoops. So I ended up. Well, I guess I'll have to sell for the next best thing, and I don't have a physical copy of it with me here. But I put that little Jimmy Stewart movie on, and that little It's a Wonderful Life thing.
Clarence.
Yeah. And
good old savings and loan.
I'll get to this one, Roger. But anyway, so I started watching it and I kind of got tired, went to bed, woke up, wholesale business I worked at. Well, I was always awake at 3-4 o'clock in the morning because our store hours were like at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we always had to be there super early to get our trucks out and different things like that. And, yeah. Yeah, I hear you there. I would start watching the rest of the movie. That was the nice thing about the VCRs. I could just stop it and just picked up right where I left off.
Sure. Right.
And yeah, I started watching and I looked and I had 2 cats at the time and I had this little Christmas tree and I had a couple of presents that guys at work had given me, just the typical work stuff and whatever. And I was going back and I was watching the movie. And I was looking at that, watching the cats just be all nice and cuddled up under the tree. And I go back and forth, and the movie's going on, and you're seeing George Bailey as he's walking through life without him, and what life was like without him, and stuff like that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, you got my attention now. I get it.
Right.
It's like, okay, you put me here on this earth for a reason, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. I got put here for some kind of reason. So now I'm like, okay, take me. I'm yours. What do you want to do with me? So Christmas, and the funny thing is, I've never watched It's a Wonderful Life since.
You don't need to. You got the message.
I got the message. So, so it got my attention to say, okay, let's get with some. Let's find out what it's like. It's like the old Charlie Brown here says.
Absolutely.
Can anybody please tell me what Christmas is all about? Sure, Charlie Brown, I can tell you.
Yeah, Linus knows.
Lights, please. And I'm like, okay, I need to get in touch with that again. I need to get that spirit within me back in touch again, because I'm like, okay, that's what's going to help me find peace in myself, and that's what's going to help find mental peace and just a lot of things. And so,
can I jump in for a second?
Go for it.
You have hit on the other aspect of the Christmas season that I spend the rest of my majority of my time thinking about. I am terribly conflicted. I am an unsure, I am a confidently unsure person about certain aspects of my faith.
Mm-hmm.
My background, I absolutely grew up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Methodist. Both of my parents were heavily involved. They both taught Sunday school. They were both in the choir. They were both on the church board. My memories, and this is the thing I'm talking about, when you get to Christmas, I literally have segregated by decades memories that are there. Mm-hmm. My recall on them is deep, and it is very, very detailed and retrospective. It's all there for me.
Right.
All of the things I remember doing, getting the trees, picking it out, arguing with my older sisters. No, I liked this one. I didn't like that one. That sounds silly at 63 years old, but at 8 or 7, it's the biggest thing on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
You want the coolest tree. I want the coolest tree.
Mm-hmm.
It is an innocence, and always the late night services, the candles, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And music, and this is where I'm going to tie it in, because music is what connects it all for me.
Right.
And so I was very sure of who I was and what I was feeling and what I was believing until I hit a certain roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
And that roadblock was when I was a custodian at a church in the early 2000s while I was home with my kids. It was what I could contribute while my wife was working full time. I could do it evenings and weekends at the church.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular church, I have long believed, was institutionally bankrupt. It was morally bankrupt. It was about them. It was about power. It was about control. It had nothing to do with faith.
Yeah.
Their lack of understanding that other people can be far on their roads and their paths. I'll never forget it, because the reason I got into that church is because I started playing with the worship team. Playing drums was always my way in.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the director one time, because we would have a small fellowship after rehearsals, and I said, well, I'd be happy to talk at some episode. And her answer was, and this is a direct quote, well, when you're further along on your path, maybe we can work that out. I'm like, you have no idea who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea where I've been, what I feel, what I believe, what I've experienced at all.
Yeah.
You just judged me in a way that goes against what I personally believe is one of the most important messages of Christ's birth.
Mm-hmm.
The don't judge, don't this, you're not better than somebody else, this, you have to be open. And if you're not open, guess what? You're going to miss when the real thing is sitting right in front of you, because your skepticism and your self-absorbedness
Mm-hmm.
is going to blind you.
Yeah.
And that is Satan's greatest weapon. The ability to make you blind and stupid.
Yep.
So I've gone through this whole period now. I haven't stepped into church since the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Does it bother me? Yes. I draw a big, huge distinction between faith and religion.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know, as my memories flow back at this point in my inner reflectiveness, I'm like, there was a great memory there. There's a great memory there. Fellowship, 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 fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe we are meant to worship and be of faith alone. It is not supposed to be alone. My first name is Peter for a reason. My mother picked it. The first two girls would have been Peters if they had been boys.
Right. Right.
You know, Peter, you are the rock upon which I will build my church.
Uh-huh.
Now, I can't live up to that. So I gave that up a long time ago, you know. And
I was supposedly named after John the apostle. So because there's no Johns in my either my mom's or my dad's side of the family. So
I'm the only Peter.
Yeah.
There's nobody, no uncles, no distant anybody's. I'm the only one.
Right.
And that part is missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it gnaws at me because I love traditional church hymns. I love that stuff. And the memories of singing next to my dad, who had this rich, beautiful bass voice.
Yeah.
And waiting for my voice to change so I could decide whether I wanted to take the upper part or try and sing down with dad, you know, and those memories matter.
Yeah.
And that's part of Christmas. That's not, hey, this year I got an extra thing for my drum kit. Yeah. I remember those.
Sure.
And they're fun. Yeah. But those aren't the ones that had the bigger meaning. And those aren't the ones that now I sit in this state of, you know, and it's literally like a screen show that just kind of goes in front of your face. And you're like, okay, I remember that. What did that mean? What did that mean? What did that mean? You know? But music was it. My father used to bring home, because he worked in the trucking business, every Christmas. And those of you who are in a certain age with me, you'll know these. You would get the Firestone and Goodyear Christmas albums. And what did they have? All the singers of the times, Barbra Streisand, Andy Williams, Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra, such and such, all doing traditional Christmas songs. That's what I fell in love with. Those are the ones I gravitate to. And then later on, all the animated ones, obviously all of the Bankin, Raskin, if that's the correct name, I forget, Rudolph and The Year Without a Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. But it started way even earlier than that. Yeah, see? Yeah. By George! Yeah, good old Jim. But those are the things. And I remember as a kid watching black and white TV in Chicago, it wasn't Christmas until the Ray Rayner show played 3 cartoons from the 50s. Hard Rock Coco and Joe, Frosty the Snowman. Oh, you don't like that? I love anything Barbara does. I'm good.
Not that.
Oh,
I can't do her version of Jingle Bells. It's like, why? Why does it need to be triple speed? Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, if I did the red one, so I was like, hey, jingle bell, jingle all the way. No, that's awful.
Well, and so there was Hard Rock, Coco, and Joe, who were 3 elf helpers for Santa. I'm Hard Rock, I'm Coco, I'm Joe. Frosty the Snowman, and the Frosty was a 50s kind of Frosty, da-da-da-bum, ba-da-da-bum, oh, it swung like crazy. And then the last one was Susie Snowflake. Here comes Susie Snowflake. I mean, you think of it now and you're like, but that's when Christmas started. And it's like, oh, and then the first time it snowed. The first day it snowed. All of these things are things that as we get older, we find we're more and more separated from. And we lose in the jadedness of life and the heaviness and burden of day-to-day responsibilities, the kind of lighthearted things. And a quick side note, it was 50 years ago this December that I had my first real brush of musical greatness. We had a 6th grade Christmas musical production. All the grades from kindergarten up through 6 had a presentation that they would do. So we're all in the gym and each grade would take their turn going along. Well, it's like 2nd or 3rd grade is doing the 12 Days of Christmas. And I'm like, this is going to take forever. So I went to the teacher and I said, I need to use the restroom. Can I go? They're like, oh, gee, they're not even halfway. You've got a couple other grades, go. So I ran to the restroom, came back. As soon as I walked in the gymnasium, everybody started cheering. And I was just like, they were waiting for me because they'd caught up and they couldn't start because I wasn't there.
Whoops.
So I was like, oh, and they're like, yay, he's there. And then I sat down at the drum kit and we played these little kind of jazz versions of some Christmas songs in 6th grade. And they were like, ooh, and I was like, ooh, I like this.
Yeah. There you go.
I like this. So every Christmas I remember that silly little play, you know, and the acknowledgement and the accolades that kind of went along with it. And it's self-indulgent, of course, but it was self-value. It made me feel important. And it was something that motivated me to get better and keep playing.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that aspect of it. And right now I want to go back somewhere. But to be honest, I have no idea how to muster the courage to take the first step.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that will be this year or next year or maybe never. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, for me, it was just the fact that I just knew somebody through my work and I grew up a Lutheran. So I was like, well, you know, I know there's a Lutheran church nearby. I know this person goes to a Lutheran church. So I thought, hey, you're so-and-so's got a Christmas Eve service tonight, right? He's like, yeah. What time? 7 and 11. What time are you going? 7. I'll see you there.
Yeah.
What? What? Okay. And then that person got to see a change in me. You know, that was they because they knew who I was prior to that. So seeing me come to church and then start being involved in it and getting more in like men's groups and different things like that. That's when she saw that change in me, you know, that was an encouragement to her. So,
well, and see, that's what makes the gift to you so important, John.
Yeah.
Because the vessel wasn't just helping to heal you. By my own image and my own example and my own experience, can we all learn?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and so that is a very key element, and that's why the fellowship part works.
Yeah.
And the part that makes me the most upset with myself is that so many great friends that I'd had over the years were all through church.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all my best friends were people that I went to school with, but we also went to church together.
Right.
And we did the youth group stuff together, and we, and all those things that we did. And I think of it now, and my wife and I struggle, especially living up here in North Dakota. I don't know a soul. I literally have no friends.
Yeah.
And so all of mine are existentially through a computer screen. They're somewhere else. And part of that is, well, where do you meet people? Where do you meet people? Where do you meet people? Hello. A church is a great place to meet people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always pan out that you're on the same page, but there are doors that are there. We're afraid to turn the handle.
Yeah.
We're afraid to walk through.
Yeah. But I want to kind of say something with what Roger's saying. I think he's saying, I wish going to a Catholic fellowship, and then I was going to and then stopped because because I got to go too much or something. One thing that I learned early on when I started going back to church again, I was wanting to get involved in everything. If they had a Sunday night Bible study, I was there. Monday night men's group, Wednesday night service, that. It was like there was all these different things. And one of the guys who shepherded me really well looked to me and he goes, sometimes you can go to church so much that even God will get mad at you.
Yeah.
So I had to think about that for a little while, and I had to step back and realize that, maybe I don't need to be, I need to be picking out what is it that about building, what it is I'm building that I need to be working and focused on. So yeah, that's what Christmas is to me. I don't look at it as the commercialism that is just drowning us day in and day out. Which when you work the small business franchise store retail business that I was in for 22 years, it's no wonder that I didn't care about Christmas. You want to, like I said, the Christmas day was a day off. It's like I don't even want to go to my own in-laws here in town, because here in Alabama, my family's all far north, and my mom tells me if I got on a plane to fly up to Pennsylvania, she'd have a heart attack because she knows what the weather can be like, and she doesn't want to see me get stuck. She doesn't want to be.
It was literally my dad's only day off during the year, other than Sundays.
Yeah, and so it was one of those kind of things where I just looked at it as a day off because I didn't want to be involved in the commercialism. I was selfish in a way where I don't even like, if I give a gift, why does it have to be December 25th? Why can't I just bless somebody? If I know somebody wants something, I'd rather just, if I have the money to do it, I'd rather just bless them with it. But
you see, you hit a good point, John, and I'll be real brief here. Yeah. When I was saying about the self-evaluation, when I look back at my own actions and I'm like, okay, it's like, it's no different than Valentine's Day. If you're only telling somebody you love them on Valentine's Day, you're failing miserably.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just doing good things on Christmas because you're supposed to, and growing up in the church, we always knew there were certain families we were only going to see their father once a year.
Yeah.
He was going to go in church because somehow he felt that kept him out of wherever he didn't want to go, or get out of whatever doghouse he was being pushed to go into.
Right.
And we all know people like that. Yeah. And the thing is that what am I doing every day to give of myself and what I have to offer, that at the end of the year, I can look back and go, okay, I was proud of doing this. I was proud of doing that. I didn't do enough here. I could do more there. I could be more grateful here. I could be more forgiving here. but that's a yearly thing. That's an everyday life thing.
Oh yeah.
The Christmas Day thing is Madison Avenue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, so for me, I just, it was, when I left the job last year, I was hoping that I would really feel like when I feel the Christmas spirit, I was like, I feel like I want to see what they see in these Hallmark movies or the old movies of around Christmas time. And there's like a certain magic you want to experience. And I didn't feel it even last year. And, again, because I didn't leave to go visit family. I stayed here and stayed at
we're
home.
not going anywhere either.
And then with this year, working the part-time job I'm working with, where I'm kind of in a basement and I'm off to myself and I love what I'm doing. It's kind of a nice, it may be part-time, but I'll take it. It's a good fit for me where I am right now in my life. But I still feel like we were out and about earlier. And it's like just being in the traffic is enough to want to kill my Christmas spirit. It's like I had a doctor's appointment on Thursday. I had to go to the local hospital to get a blood test done. And I swear it took me a half an hour to drive a mile to get to where I was. It shouldn't have taken that long. There was just that much traffic. Yeah, maybe there was an accident or somewhere, but still, there's a lot of lanes that people can drive in. Anyway, so that tends to kill me.
Well, you've got a good point here, because one of the things that I also remember the most about when I was younger is that I tended to get ill at Christmas. I remember a lot of Christmases where I came down in the morning, I had a hot water bottle on my stomach. I was, and there were multiple times where I was out with my dad getting last minute stuff in the burbs of Chicago. I'm going to Woodfield Mall, which was the largest mall ever, and the chaos of people. I got sick to my stomach, and he had his hand over my mouth in a J.C. Penney's, or I think it's Sears, as we were running out so I could throw up outside. The pressure, you felt it as a kid.
Yeah.
The anxiety that came out of the materialistic pressure to keep up.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, the last name I'm gonna use the keep up with the Joneses.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when I had kids and they were young, the pressures were real.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you have? Well, how big's under your tree? What have you got? What is this? What is that? And it's gotten to the point where now all the kids know mom and dad are dealing with a lot of other financial issues. They know we do stuff all through the year, for them. And that's part of where the giving is they don't go, okay, here comes the day where we get all our good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, no. And they know that. And they're older and they're more mature, and they're going to have a different outlook at it and not look at it as materialistically either. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. 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 I think the thing that right now, I think the biggest struggle that I have, is I tell people, please don't get me anything for Christmas. Don't even get me a gift card. I don't like keeping up with those things.
Right.
But I have to keep telling myself, yeah, but they still want to give something to you. There's a joy that shows that they still want to give you something. And you're kind of telling them that, you don't want a part of their joy. And that's something that I'm fighting with, and I've had to fight for a long time. And I'm still trying to work that out and get better about. And it's probably going to take me the rest of my life to get there.
Yeah.
But that's just how I am as a person. I don't typically enjoy people spending money. I mean, unless my mom's going to send me money or family's
Right.
going to send me money, that's one
Right.
thing. But because we can always use the money to help pay off bills or other
Well, and
things that
see,
come along.
that's part of the rub, John, because
Yeah.
that's part of the what else is going on in your life.
Hmm.
Are you so bogged down by things that are important? There's no question they're important.
Yeah.
But can you take a step back?
Hmm.
Can you say, okay, today we're going to this because it's about me giving to you, you giving to me, and the joy of exchanging that with each other.
Hmm.
And sometimes the simplest thing is, the wife and I are like, well, we'll go to dinner. And you say, well, geez, people go out to dinner all the time. Well, we don't.
Right.
And for us, that has a certain meaning because it has a certain personal side to it that's very intimate between a couple. And they say, I want to be with you and let's go out and do something. And that can be enough. Obviously, I am exactly like a lot, Dad, what do you want for Christmas? Nothing. I don't want anything. And they're like, we can never get anything because Dad never wants anything. I don't need anything.
Yeah.
And that's the word.
Yeah.
Not Dad, not what do you want? I've got a list of wants. My needs are very small and they're very specific. And most of them you don't buy at a department store or online.
Right.
There's the
yeah. So yeah. So that's really kind of where I'm at when it comes to Christmas. So so I'm not I don't want to beleaguer the conversation because there's a lot of good stuff that we can talk about, and there's a lot of good music that we can all listen to. There's good movies that we all watch, but or good things to drink. I got some some dairy-free eggnog here. Just
there you go.
So
I love this time of year. I warm up the milk. I like milk, hot chocolate with extra creamy Ready Whip.
yeah,
that's
for me. If my mom had made her chocolate chip cookies and sent them down to me, I probably would gain all the weight that I lost this year. Because that's just how I am with them. I probably would eat them in one night, and
yeah, I'm that way.
But so I'm kind of glad that she's not sending me cookies this year.
Yeah, and like we said, every year's different. For Thanksgiving, we were able to, because my son was able to come up from the military base, but we know that they've all got pluses, and there's that pressure to split days and everything. So we did something very differently. I said, let's have a big family breakfast instead. Everybody came over. I made everybody breakfast. We fellowshipped, we talked. And then you know what? They were free to go wherever they needed to go to the other meals and not have to pretend they wanted to eat turkey twice.
Right.
And we got our time. They got their time. They were completely not pressured. And it worked out really, really well. And this year for Christmas, it's going to be on Wednesday, but they're going to come around lunch. We're just going to have veggie trays and sandwiches, and half of them will be here. Half of them are not available. And that will be it.
Yeah.
And my siblings are way all across. I got some in Minneapolis, some back in Chicago, and some over in the Carolinas.
Right.
So I'm not going to see any of them.
Yeah.
And so it's what it is. And I think the pressure that we put on ourselves, excuse me, to conform to some type of Western civilized view of, watch every freaking movie. Every Christmas tree's got more packages under it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Gaudy. It's absurd. Yeah. Money has nothing to do with Christmas.
Nope.
Nothing.
Never has.
Nothing.
Never has. Just read Luke 2 or any. That's what Christmas truly is all about.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to, and then if you dig deep into what all the meanings behind everything are, then some of that will just blow your mind and how it connects the Bible all together.
Sure.
But yeah, it's but back in 2009, and this is what I'm gonna wrap the show up with. So Peter, I appreciate you doing this, taking the time to do this with me.
Pleasure to be here, John.
And and I'm gonna just finish it off by I'm gonna play a little song that I wrote back in 2009, and it was something I did for our kids ministry, where it was I basically took the curriculum they were using, and I thought, and I looked at it, and I'm like, and the title, what is Christmas to you, came up to. It's like imagine a first grade kid trying to grasp the biblical truths of Christmas, and it's pretty deep to really understand.
Oh, yes, it is.
But sometimes even a kid probably looks up to God and says, "Well, what is Christmas to you?" You know. So I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share this little song here. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. Hang on a second. Nope, that's not it. There we go. So let's do this. What is Christmas to you? Words they say, are they all true? Goodwill and peace on earth shall come forth from your birth. Your spoken dreams, don't be afraid. God with us each and every day. No gift we bring will match what you do. What is Christmas to you? Christmas is life. Christmas is love. The greatest gift was sent from above. Christmas eternal for me and for you. With all we say, and with all we do, what is Christmas to you? There is a cross upon the hill, and you did your Father's will. You came to live so you could die, though it leaves us asking why. 3 days you stayed inside the grave. It was your life that you gave. Promises we know are true. What is Christmas to you? Christmas is life. Christmas is love. The greatest gift was sent from above. Christmas eternal for me and for you. With all we say, with all we do, what is Christmas to you? Shine your light, shine your peace, shine your love. Oh yeah, for all to see. Shine your light, shine your peace, shine your love, for all to see. Christmas is life. Christmas is love, the greatest gift was sent from above.
Christmas eternal for me and for you. With all we say, with all we do, what is Christmas to you? With all we say, with all we do, what is Christmas to you?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good, sir.
So with that being said, folks, Merry Christmas to you all. Happy holidays for those who don't celebrate Christmas. But Peter, happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
Same to you, sir.
Let's regroup for 2026. Let's have some fun sometime next year, and let's do some good stuff. So anyway, much appreciated for all those who tuned in. Thanks in advance, everybody watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, chatting, everything. Much appreciated. Looking forward to seeing what 2026 is going to bring for us. So until then, everybody, Merry Christmas to y'all. We'll see you next year.